Hello, everyone, and welcome to the You podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the You podcast. Today, we have the privilege of having with us Tamar Frydman.
Hello.
Who is the director of the Impact Accelerator.
Yes.
We're going to learn a little bit about that in a little
Same.
bit. But what we're going to start with is our most difficult question, which is, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh, okay. Thank you for that question. It's a hard one because what makes you, and I've been thinking about that a lot, is it where I came from, some of the experiences that I've had, some of my personal experience, some of my work experiences, some of what I'm doing now. So that's a pretty loaded question.
It's a loaded question. You're the first person to call me out on it. So I appreciate that.
So I'll say that I was born in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
And
which part of Boston?
In Brookline.
Okay.
And I'm from a family of 6 children. I am the third of 6. I have 2 brothers and 3 sisters. We were all born in Boston, all 6 of us. Mm-hmm. And then when I was 9 years old, we moved to Baltimore.
Okay. So different community, Baltimore.
Very different. Yeah. Quite a shift from being in a small community to a much larger community and being the big fish in a small pond and then being I guess small fish in a very big pond, or trying to be big fish in a big pond. One of my earliest memories, I was 5 years old, 4, 5, 6 years old, in my house, staying up late. My parents thought I was sleeping, sitting on our staircase, listening to the parlor meetings that were going on in my house. My parents always had different meetings and community leaders at our house to deal with different issues that were going on. One thing that I'm very proud of is that my parents started a school in Boston, the Torah Academy School.
Oh.
They were one of the 7 founding families. My father was even the first president of the board. And I just recently actually reflected on maybe that actually has a big influence on what I'm doing currently. They wanted a different kind of school. There's a very vibrant community in Boston, but they wanted a smaller school with a different learning styles. So instead of sitting around complaining, figuring out how they can deal with the system, they brought together people and they built a new school to educate the children of Boston.
So they had a startup.
Exactly. That's right. And still impacting and accelerating in Boston.
Amazing.
They have hundreds of kids now there. And when I was there, I think I had 10 people in my class. So I believe those early experiences, have changed me into now.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you spent a lot of time schooling in Maryland, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so
yes.
High Beis Yaakov, and then
yes, I went from 4th grade to 12th grade to Beis Yaakov, Baltimore.
And you stayed there for university.
I stayed there for university. I went to Towson University, and then I went on to University of Maryland School of Social Work, where I did a dual concentration of clinical and macro, which macro is looking at systems and nonprofits.
Sure.
And dealing with issues in the community in that way.
So you still use the clinical?
I think you can use it every day.
Oh, yeah?
I think that a big thing in social work is being where the client is and starting there. And a client can be a person, a client can be a family, a client can be a founder of a startup. And I think I use those skills every day. At least I hope to.
And in management, right? That's a piece of whoever you're working with, right? That have those skills.
Definitely.
Is useful. Mm-hmm. It's very useful.
Trying to understand where they're coming from so you can bring out the best in them, 100%.
And then you also worked in camps, right? Was that in social work? While you were in social work?
So I started in high school working at a camp, and I probably stayed too long, but I was such a camp person, right? I stayed through my master's. Actually, my first few years after my master's, I worked at a school so I could continue to go back to camp. I worked at a beautiful camp called Camp Shoresh out of Frederick, Maryland. It's a Kiev camp. And I believe that I got most of my early leadership lessons from there, of being able to take on challenges, work with a lot of different people, work with the campers in different ways. And it was a wonderful experience. And actually, what's a funny story is after my first summer there, you never know what kind of impression you're making on people. I was 15, 16 years old, and I had a nice bunk of 6th graders. And I got a letter from a camper, Jessica, of a month after thanking me for the summer, and a picture of a goat with a ribbon. And Frederick it's more of a rural kind of Maryland. They have farms, with a ribbon from the state fair, the Frederick County Fair. And they wrote me that this is a goat she bought right after camp. They named it Tamar, and it actually won an award in the county fair, the Frederick County Fair. So I don't know if that was
a goat named after you.
Yes, I have a goat named after
You're
me.
literally the greatest of all time,
Yes,
right?
there you go.
You're literally
like Tom
the goat.
Brady.
Okay.
I wish that. I hope that meant a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, it could go either way.
It could go either way, I guess.
But I chose to be very honored by having a goat named after me after my first summer. And it really showed me how much an impression you can make on people. You don't even know. She wasn't my star camper. I enjoyed her. She was a lot. But she named her goat after me. And it became a big camp joke for years afterwards. But I was very honored.
Okay, so you've done some travel also, right? Like you stayed in Maryland a long time, but you like to see the world a little bit.
I do.
Too.
I love to see the world. I've been fortunate to be able to travel to a lot of places. Some of the top ones I would say would be Iceland, India. I went 2 summers ago. Actually, when I was applying for this job, I was in India. My first back and forth with Yoni was like, I'm sorry, I'm not sure I can make that Zoom call because I'm in India. And he was very, very nice about it. He's like, okay, I can't wait to hear about it. And I think it's, to me, it's so important to see the world and to experience that and to understand other cultures and then bring that back with me. One of my favorite memories of just my trip 2 years ago to India was when I was in Dharamshala. So Dharamshala there's a couple things. There's more Hebrew there than anything because it's part of like, I guess, the hummus trail that a lot of Israelis.
What's the hummus trail?
So what I believe the hummus trail is, and we should fact check this, is that after people
it's the
do
OU podcast. We
right. So I don't know if we
just have to make sure it's kosher hummus.
Right. There you go. Kosher hummus. When people finish their army service, they need to relax and get away. And so many people go to India, Nepal, South America to try to find themselves and relax. So there is more Hebrew there. You would go into they would start talking to me in Hebrew because the people that work at the different stores, because they thought that's what I would speak. And they have like laundry is all in Hebrew. And it's actually kind of beautiful that how the Chabads there really cater to that community. Because if people are searching, they want to be there to help them land and search. One of my favorite memories from there, though, is that it was monsoon season when I went. It was August. Wow. And so you never know what you're going to get. And we had a hike that we're going to do one Friday. And it was raining a little bit, but we're like, we still want to do it. And halfway up, it was pouring. It actually was a little bit scary, but it was pouring and pouring. And there was some people on the hike that were complaining, and rightfully so, I understand it, but they were complaining and they went back. And me and a few friends stayed. And this was the only time, I'm not usually like this, but we were like laughing and we're like dancing in the rain and trying to like really embrace the change of our schedule and the change in what we wanted to do. And it's one of my favorite memories from my trip to India of just like embracing the struggle, embracing what's going to happen that day, and trying to dance in the rain, as that expression is. And it was a really special
It's a beautiful
moment.
story. It's a beautiful story. You know, it talks a little bit about your ability to tolerate risk. And, you know, you've changed jobs, right? Over time, you spent some time in the Federation world, right? And then you come here, and there's a lot about risk and taking chances with more of a startup kind of role. And so,
well, I
tell us a
felt
little
it
bit
was
about
a
that.
risk, but I felt really supported when I started here. Is actually I've had the privilege of being the director of the Impact Accelerator for almost years. But I remember from my beginning conversations with you and with Rabbi Glasser and with Yoni Cohn and everybody that I met here, I felt really supported. So I didn't feel as much of a risk. It was a jump, but it
Right.
felt like a risk worth taking. But yeah, I think to be in a startup and to try to think innovatively, you have to be okay to risk and to push and to make sure that you have your safety measures there so that you're not pushing yourself over the deep end, but that you feel comfortable with that.
So what is the Impact Accelerator?
I'm so glad you asked.
Okay,
so the
good.
Impact Accelerator is there. Yes, our good word is there to help nonprofits in the community be innovative and deal with the challenges of the Orthodox community. We believe in innovation, we believe in excellence, and we believe in empowerment. So we try to help support nonprofits through helping them find resources and networks. We believe in excellence. How we do that is teach them the best way to run what they're running and to take their idea far by running it like a business. And empowerment is another value of ours, is help them figure out the best way they can do what they want to do. I always tell them, I'm not here to coach you and tell you exactly where to go. I'm here to listen to what your dream is and try to help you get on the right path to get there and fulfill that dream that you had and to make the most impact. Because you know what you're doing better than anybody else. You have the excitement about it and the energy for it. So I'm here to help you figure out how to get there and get to the steps to make that impact.
You've innovated something at the accelerator too, right? Now, there's 3 different legs of the accelerator now.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So what's all this activity? What are we trying to accomplish?
Sure. So the OU does so many wonderful things, and we have so many ways that we're helping the community. But I think very rightly so, the OU was very smart to be like, we can't be everywhere all the time, and we still want to help support the needs of the community. So they started in about 5-6 years ago, helping startup nonprofits that are dealing with a host of issues. And with that, we're making impact in the community. When I started here 2 years ago, we knew that there was more that we could do, that we could expand the program, that we were thinking about startups, but we have so many applications that come in. I didn't tell you yet, but cohort 6 applications just finished last week.
Mazel tov.
We got over 90 applications.
Come on.
So, right. So a really record-breaking year that shows even more why we wanted to expand the program. So we're staying to our core of the Impact Accelerator cohort. And maybe I'll take a step back. I know that you know that I kind of stole from you your 3 C's. So the Impact Accelerator, since I started, we developed our own 3 C's, which is Impact Accelerator Cohort, Impact Accelerator Community, and Impact Accelerator Commitment. The cohort.
I like my 3
Yeah,
C's,
your 3 C's are better, but I'm going to get in the game.
But I'm going to go run and
3
trademark
C's.
them now.
Yes,
also.
you better.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah, so the 3 C's that we're dealing with. So the cohort is our accelerator cohort that we're so proud of to help
What
the
number
startup.
year is this?
Number 6.
Wow.
Yeah, and so we have 25 ventures that we've helped, over 40 founders. We've given over $100,000 out of grants, but we're really making a difference in that startup community. We wanted to expand, so we are working more with our alumni, and we are also we're starting a new program called the OU Entrepreneurs, and bringing the change makers from within our own organization and helping them make change in the work in their department. So we're starting that soon. We have
Excellent.
a wonderful cohort. We're going to be teaching them different things that we teach the accelerator cohort and the startup nonprofits, because being a change maker from within is different than being a change maker outside. So that's one leg that's the Impact Accelerator cohort. Our Impact Accelerator community is really excited also about expanding our reach. We're going into communities and helping the nonprofits there. We just ran a wonderful program in Baltimore, a pilot where we had 16 different people from, I believe, 13 organizations coming together, learning about adaptive leadership. One of the things that I heard from them is that they never really got the chance to learn together, even though it's a small community and they know of each other, to learn with each other and to get to know each other and the work that they're doing. So it was wonderful to be able to support a community in their work. And we're also doing an Impact Accelerator commitment, which is about working with our leaders in the best way to ensure that Impact Accelerator can grow and thrive and that they can help the organizations that we're helping.
Amazing. Lots of activity.
Lots of
Very
activity.
exciting. Thanks for
been
giving us a
good.
little bit of an insight into.
Thank you. I know that was really quick,
No,
but
that's a lot.
But it's a
lot.
lot of good stuff going on and keeps us busy and it's wonderful to see.
Great. We're going to mix it up a little bit with a
All
little
right,
rapid fire question here.
Let's do
Milchiks or fleischiks?
it. Milchiks all the way. I know.
What do you mean?
I'm not a vegetarian.
Okay.
But I like dairy and tofu and some plant-based stuff.
Wow.
Better than the heavy.
You heard it here first, folks. Okay, that's great. Okay, rapid fire question number 2.
Excellent.
Ready? I'm going to need some assistance on this one. The biggest glacier in Iceland is Vatnajökull.
Okay.
Drangajökull.
Mm-hmm.
Langjökull.
Mm-hmm.
Or Mýrdalsjökull.
Well, you sounded excellent.
Thank you so
much.
much.
I think that your Icelandic is incredible.
That's you're the only person in my life that ever said that to me.
Let's say number 2.
Close.
Oh.
The first one.
I'll
say it again. Vatnajökull. So when you go back to Iceland, and when I go,
yes.
It means water glacier and has an area of about 7,900 square kilometers.
Wow. Beautiful.
So,
incredible. Yeah. You got to get there. I hope you get there one day. It is beautiful.
Hope so. We are introducing something new in the last couple of episodes.
Okay.
Called 30,000-foot questions.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, so it comes from David Brooks asking big questions in his recent book. So here's one for you. What would you do if you weren't afraid?
Maybe I would start my own podcast and try to share my thoughts and views more often and out there.
That sounds like a great idea.
I'm not only taking your C's.
So you know what? We're gonna give you a chance right now because we're gonna turn the tables.
Okay.
You get to ask me a question.
Okay, great. I was looking forward to this.
This is gonna be the launch.
This is the beginning. Okay.
Of the Accelerator podcast.
I love it.
Which I'm sure you'll come up with a better name than that.
I hope so. I know we'll find something good. So being here at the OU, which is an incredible organization and a legacy organization that's been around for a while, how do you bring the innovative and startup and founder energy into the work that you do here? Because I know that's something that you care about and think about a lot. I know you've lent me books on the subject, so I was wondering how you do that in this kind of organization.
So great question. I think number one, it's about people, and you have to have people who want to be creative and want to add in their 2 cents. A little chutzpah, like, oh, you've been doing things this way forever, but I have a thought or an idea, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's about people and their ability to move things forward. And then the second piece is you have to incentivize it. You have to give people the space to fail and fail forward and learn from it and to be able to grow from it. And I think that's part of the culture, we're trying to do. I'm out here on this podcast making a fool of myself all the time, right? And like learning from it. So I think you got to model it and you have to encourage it and incentivize it. That's great. It's a great question. Very important value for us is to encourage that innovation and that power of chiddush.
That's great.
Right? Of newness.
Yeah. And I see that here. That's it's interesting to hear you say that because I feel that. I feel that a lot when I've been in many different organizations. And I started in public schools in Baltimore City, and here I am now. But you get that sense when you walk in the building and you're at different meetings and you see that. So I know that makes sense, and that starts from you and from Rabbi Hauer. So it's nice to be part of that.
Good to know.
Yes,
good to know it's working. Okay, so to wrap up, what we ask our guests is to give us a bracha. Give us at the OU your blessing.
Okay, so I want to give you and everybody at the OU a bracha to continue the good work by surrounding themselves with good people, the good energy that people can feel emanate from the different offices and all the different spaces that you help create here. Continue to do the good work in the community and make sure that we're here to elevate the Orthodox community and create spaces for everybody in the Orthodox community to find their place and to thrive and to grow. And I know if anybody could do it, the OU can do that because they've been doing it for generations. And I'm excited to be part of it now. And I bless everybody here to keep it going and to keep it growing.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And right back at you.
Thank you so
and
much.
not only to keep it going, but to keep moving us forward with your innovations.
Thank you.
And the innovations that you inspire all of us.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate
Thanks
it.
for coming.